Message for Brian.
Turn yourself in. They're hunting. They'll find you.
So how do you find someone who doesn't want to be found? Tonight, a former FBI agent offers her perspective.
The reason why everybody is so fascinated with this case is the fact that when they look at Gabby, most people see a sister, a daughter, a granddaughter.
Hey guys, Pedro V here. Now, I want to talk about this before it gets really scrubbed, because I know this was a huge case a couple of days ago, a huge story, and it got national attention very quickly. So if you didn't hear about this case about the supposed Gabby Petito and her boyfriend, now the way they presented this to the masses and every step they took and the way they made it out to be, it almost seemed staged or a front of a deeper agenda here. I noticed how when they first started talking about this, they started showing faces, these two are missing, Gabby and the boyfriend comes home. Then social media blows up saying, where's Gabby? So now they go hunt for Gabby. Then they backtrail to, oh, maybe the boyfriend has something to do with it. Then they choose Florida out of all places. I wonder why. Since it's already targeted, so let's make it a police state and create this virtual manhunt for this person they suspect has something to do with Gabby. Now, another thing with the police officers, there's a lot of them stepping down as well because of the vaccine mandates.
A former Navy SEAL sounding the alarm on hundreds of Navy SEALs quitting over these vaccine mandates. And it's not just happening in the military. Law enforcement members are also fighting back, including a veteran police officer out in California who hung up his badge over the vaccine requirement for all.
But something else caught my eye, and it was the way they're going about this. And I believe I found the true motive behind this operation, which is all about finding people who live off the grid, who aren't tracked by cell phone and so forth.
Well, law enforcement has been searching this reserve for several days now, but this is the first time, I believe, that they've brought in a dive team. So do we know why they're taking this additional step?
Yeah, Linda, well, this is the first time that we have seen that dive team go into the reserve. And we know that they have gone in there because the investigators say that they have searched a number of areas on land. They said that they're starting to exhaust their land search and they're going to look into the water to see if it contains any clues of Brian or Brian's belongings.
Brianna tells us a case this size is all hands on deck. Agents are everywhere night and day looking at every single tip and every clue.
So if somebody is willing to go literally off the grid and maybe live off the land, that is probably the most extreme and difficult way to find someone.
And for whatever reason that is, maybe that is why they're being targeted and hunted down. So I just wanted to quickly give my speculation on that. You guys let me know what you think. And with that being said, have faith, remain vigilant, and God bless you all.
Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So I see this in the news today, and as you know, everything that I see that appears in the news, whether it's Geronimo the alpaca or the petrol crisis, there's always something behind it. Well, at least that's the way I look at it. Or there's some form of message being sent out, a distraction to mislead people or to mock them. And I see this today, which I thought it was a bit curious. White stag shot dead by police after running wild around Merseyside streets. Police said the animal could not be left to find its own way to safety because it was becoming distressed and creating danger for motorists and members of the public. It says here a statement, Merseyside Police said several inquiries were made to find an organisation who could assist with recovering the deer safely, but unfortunately we were unable to get assistance as the hours went by, the deer became more distressed. There was no option to let the deer wander as it could be a danger to motorists and members of the public in the area, particularly as the hours of darkness approached. As a result, a decision was made in the early evening to euthanize the deer, it says here. Now, you know, I'm having a bit of a funny day today. I could well be reading too much into this, but But I kind of find this a bit spooky, what with everything that is going on at the moment, because white stags, white deers, are incredibly symbolic. On top of that, white stags are incredibly rare as well. I mean, they are very rarely seen. It says here, a white deer is considered so rare in the UK, with only a handful of sightings reported over the last 50 years. So that's only a few sightings of a white stag in the UK in the last 50 years. That's a pretty rare sight. And that will be most probably in the wild, not running down the flipping high street. So that is very odd. Then secondly, it says here about the symbology of the white stag. The colour white has long been associated with purity, and in Celtic culture, the colour also represents the other world. In modern society, people have acted to protect the white stag as a vestige of beauty, and the hunting of the white stag has often been met with anger because of its rare and elusive nature. The stag is consistently symbolic for a number of themes, such as purity, with the unusual white coat symbolizing an unwavering innocence. The appearance of the stag is also synonymous with the delivery of a message or great change. So yeah, if you're into symbology, the white stag that's only been spotted a handful of times over the last 50 years in the UK, it's a symbol of purity, of innocence. It says here also, to Christians, the white stag came to symbolize Christ, perhaps in part inspired by the Saint Eustace legend. The majestic beast appears in many religious and cultural myths as an archetype of vital importance. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting, no? I mean, I don't think we needed an otherworldly warning to tell us that things were going to shit, but you can't deny, we can't deny the symbolism going on with this story. An ancient rare symbol of virtue and purity killed by the modern authorities. So what do you think? Did someone let this incredibly rare white stag onto the streets of Liverpool for some reason? Did this just happen by random? Was it just a random event? I mean, a white stag turning up in Merseyside, only seen a handful of times over the last 50 years? It's pretty odd. Is it an omen? Or is it just more mind games from the media? As I've said before, nothing turns up in the mainstream media by accident.
James, fate draws us back together. Now your enemy is my enemy. How did that happen?
Well, you live long enough.
Harder to tell the good from bad, villains from heroes these days.
We used to be able to get into a room with the enemy. Now they're just floating in the ether.
She still loves you. Did you know that?
What is it?
You don't know what this is.
Is she one of them?
I don't know her at all.
When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of you.
James Bond. We both eradicate people to make the world a better place. I just want to be a little tidier.
I met your new 00. She's a disarming young woman.
You ever flown one of these things before?
Nope.
Come on, Bond. Where the hell are you?
You
we don't do this, there will be nothing left to save. When you're ready.
You're late.
Can I just have one nice evening, please, before the world explodes?
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Good evening.